Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Joyce, for inviting me to this. In the India Advantage Summit, when people talk about India, it always provides a lot of advantage to the many people across the world. I always tell this to the people, the youngsters who are leaving the country for green pastures outside, the action has started here in India. India is a land of opportunities, and all you guys need to come back. So I keep telling this to the people across the world, but a lot of young people are leaving, And our Prime Minister, during the August 15th, the speech, he said, India is going to be the developing nation by 2047. And also he said, it is going to be a $30 trillion economy, a 10 times of what 3 trillion right now. Obviously, this inspires many people, many youngsters. There are 25 years of the runway is there for them. And this runway provides a lot of opportunities. And then it's not that easy to achieve that. That's an aspirational goal. And each one of us as a citizen of India, and we have some role to play. Whatever the role could be, as a professional, as a student, as an entrepreneur, as an institution, as a government, there are many people needs to play a role to achieve that goal. Then last time, Nandan spoke very nicely about how the digital transformation has taken place in terms of the government infrastructure, whether it is UID or NPCI or UPI or the digital payment system and all that, whatever. I also talked about the ONDC, talked about how the markets to be connected, etc., etc. So till now, last few years, the last 3 decades, India has seen the growth in terms of the IT exports, in terms of the electronics design exports and all that. Suddenly, this new wave of the digital transformation started contributing a lot. And that is brought in a new word called the digital economy. What is that going to be? It's not just an IT, it's not just electronics, it's not just startups. And this digital infrastructure that is created by the government is also providing the huge opportunity. That is what we call all these things together is a digital economy. When you look at this digital economy, and last time I think McKinsey did a report saying that digital economy is going to be $400 billion as of now in the country. That is the size. And that needs to grow, and a huge potential. It is likely to be touching around $1 trillion by 25-26 in India, and it's going to be $3 trillion by 2030, only in digital economy, leaving the other. So if that is so, we also need to have an aspirational goals at the Karnataka level. Then we quickly looked into Karnataka and looked into what is the Karnataka share. Its Karnataka will be around $110 billion as of now. That includes an IT, electronics, and startup and other digital transactions that are taking place. And this is likely to go to $400 billion. What it means is Karnataka will continue to have a 27% of the digital economy contribution coming from the Karnataka, and this is going to be the largest next few years. If at all that needs to sustain, our contribution needs to sustain, obviously we need to do, again, plan a lot. That is what we are doing along with the government of Karnataka under the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, creating a roadmap for achieving these larger goals. That's what we are trying to do. And then coming to how you can make sure that all these things we do that, primarily to look at a sustainable growth, right? Whenever I think just talked about the sustainable growth, I looked into what is the UN sustainable goals, right? There are 17 goals. And if you look at the goals, interestingly, it covers everything. And interestingly, each of you can contribute in one of the goals to change, create an impact. So what we thought is through the KDEM, we can create impact on the goal 8 and goal 9, what I looked into the 17 goals, promote a sustained and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent workforce across the state. As of now, it is only concentrated in the cities, right? The Bangalore's and Hyderabad's and other places. We need to look at how you can make sure that you will have a sustainable economic growth across the state. The second is build a resilient infrastructure, promote and sustainable industrialization and the innovation. You need to have an innovation framework, you need to have a industrialization happening across the state. That is what we have taken up as a part of our objective. So current status, the Karnataka digital economy contributes around 42% of the Karnataka GDP. This is again highest among any of the states. And we have an aspirational goal that will sustain that, probably will increase our digital economy contribution to the Karnataka GDP by 53%. What it means is we need to create so much of workforce beyond Bangalore clusters, enable making sure that the larger companies could grow, not just in Bangalore, but in other parts of the states. Sorry. These sector-wise, if you look at the $400 billion, which are whatever I told, out of that $108 billion is from Karnataka, and 31% is contributed by the IT, 6.84 is the electronics manufacturing. Again, Karnataka is the largest electronics manufacturing sector, and also the startups. Startups, even though I written as a 1.52%, but that impact that are created by startups is much, much larger. Just to give you, the Karnataka has a 45 unicorns. If all India, we have 105 unicorns. Again, Karnataka has the largest 40% of the funds that are funded startups are here in Karnataka. And this is the huge base. How do you make sure that this huge base will continue to remain as a huge as we pass on in our roadmap for next 10 to 15 years? Right? So we created what is our aspirational goals. And then we also looked into what are our IT exports. As of now, it is on $65 billion. It has a potential to grow. And overall, our $100 billion digital economy has potential to grow to approximately $400 billion by 29-30 only from Karnataka. That is what we are aspiring. And there are a lot of stakeholders are there to make it happen. It's not just the responsibility of the government, it's not just the responsibility of the industry, it is not just the responsibility of the academicians, etc. Likewise, when the economy is growing, obviously the employment also would grow. We believe that right now around 3 million people are employed are impacted by the digital economy in the state, and they are likely to grow to 10 million. Huge number. But that's possible. And we are taking some precautions, are taking some steps to make sure that the workforce in all the spheres, not just in the high technology, in the services sector, and also some of the low-end jobs that are required for the manufacturing. We need to make sure that all these opportunities could be created for the workforce. And I also told this, if at all you need to make sure that the growth is sustained, our contribution should be remain like that, in spite of the huge growth that is happening across the country. We need to take this industry beyond Bangalore. We have taken this as a special mission and focusing on these clusters like the Mysore, Mangalore and Hubli. And these are the clusters. How many of you recently visited any of these clusters? Can you please raise your hands? Not many. This is the problem. Actually, you people should travel. Otherwise, I'll ask our KDEM people to organize some, visits to you. In fact, we requested some of the, friends from the missions, like Tammy, I told Tammy she should visit Mysore, and Danish ambassador is visiting again Mysore, and one more ambassador is visiting Mangalore and all. The reason why I said is things have changed there now. Things are not like what it used to be. When you go to Mysore, we call that as a most healthiest city in Karnataka. You get a balanced, the IT industry and the electronics, and some of you must have read in the paper, the FAB proposal, one of the FAB proposal, they proposed to set up in Mysore, and also the day for yesterday, there is a Korean delegation came, they met me, and they wanted to create a display cluster. Again, they went to Mysore, they liked Mysore, they said if at all they come, they will come in Mysore. That display cluster is again, it is not just, that is an LED display, and that display comes, there are a lot of other associated industry also would move. The reason why I'm telling is, and also, that gentleman made one statement, he's a Korean guy, he said, Kia project is implemented, Hyundai is implemented in Chennai, Kia in Andhra, and Fiasco in Orissa, and he talked about these things. I hope those things will not happen here. I said those things have happened in other places because they didn't choose to be in Karnataka. I should also mention in the last 30 years I've been here seeing this growth of IT and several multinationals coming here. We not even see even one single incident that has impacted the growth of the industry. That is the environment that Karnataka can provide, and I vote for that. I always tell this to the people, irrespective of the parties change, irrespective of the government's change, the industry is always work with the bureaucracy to make sure industry, like Nandan kind of people, they always work with the government to make sure that what is being done is as per the need of the hour for that industry. Whether you call the success of the STPI, that happened again in Bangalore and that duplicated across the country, again because that is again a unique thing that is experimented in Karnataka and replicated elsewhere. KDEM, it's again a unique organization. Karnataka Digital Economy Mission is an organization that is created by the industry, for the industry with the support of the government. Government has only 49%, right? And this 49%, the industry associations are 51%. The board is a hybrid board. You have all the senior bureaucrats on one side on the board, and the other side there are industry representatives are on the board. Since I was in the government in the past, till 2007, moved to become an entrepreneur, I've seen the boards, both of the spheres, government sphere as well as the industry sphere. Then they requested me to chair this, and this is where we got an opportunity to create a new architecture and new roadmap for Karnataka, and we are in that mission of creating that roadmap and making sure that the Beyond Bangalore becomes a reality. So the numbers, aspirational numbers, what I given for Beyond Bangalore, it is not just numbers put on the screen. This has been thought through pretty well before we committing these numbers. We are working along with the government, working with along with the industry leaders. KDEM has another unique, the nature, like the Joe's kind of people, we have an industry leaders at every place working for the KDEM. There are industry leaders in Hubli, industry leaders in Mysore, industry leaders in Mangalore, etc. We are positioning Mysore as a cyber tech city because India's #1 cyber tech center is coming up there in Mysore. And Mangalore, because Mangalore comes with a banking background, the fintech background is going to happen in Mangalore. Already a few of the large fintechs already indicated that they're going to start their operations. Likewise, edutech and an agri-tech out of Hubli and engineering tech out of Belgaum. So this is the action that is happening in Karnataka. I think I overshoot the time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we look forward. As I said, any one of you want to work along with the KDEM and along with making sure that you wanted to visit any of this cluster, our people are there to support you people, and also will help you in whatever way we could. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.